What's up, my people? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? How's everybody feeling out there? Hope everybody's breathing. If you're breathing, you got an opportunity to get it right. Thanks for tuning in once again with your boy Bam Bam Belly Young, one of Watt's three sons, representing the East Side ours because the East Side is ours. So continue to stand 10 toes down on them 10-fold grounds. Yo, drum major for justice, because there is no justice for just us. You'll listen to talk. Giving all praise to the Most High God for the opportunity, putting the word air in my lungs and the words in my mouth. Shouts out to all four corners of Watts, all of my peoples out there putting in that work. From the JDs to the PJs to the Nick to back to the Hossies, man. Shouts out to all my loved ones over there in JD's, Big Daou, Big Lowdown over there putting in that work, taking care of your community. Shouts out to my people over in Imperial Courts, my man King Snipe, Bobby Yay, Sister, 8-Ball, my boy Big Dub C. Love y'all, man. Shouts out to Big Nick, man. My one and only Big 6'4", OG Loaf, Danny, Hank. All the brothers out there putting in that work, man, trying to look out for their community. If I missed anybody, man, I didn't mean it. Trust me, I know it's more of us out there. These are just the ones that I work with on that regular. You know how it is. Love every one of y'all, though, period, if you out there putting in that work. We need each other, man. Oh, so what's going on today? What's the story? What are we discussing? Oh, baby, we need to discuss this Black Lives Matter. Y'all remember Black Lives Matter? Matter to somebody, right? BLM, Black Lives Matter. You want to feel like that they do, or, accept that they do. So what's happening? What's going on? And what's up with BLM? Y'all remember all those folks coming out and having their feelings about the movement? All those different people, wasn't just black folks out there. Everybody was talking that Black Lives Matter back in 2020. Pushing it real hard after what happened to George Floyd. We all remember the marches, the rioting, the civil unrest that was going on. All of us remember, right? Yes, sir. How could you forget? Such a big deal. Black Lives Matter. Then they start coming with the all lives matter. Right? But everybody remembers the movement, yeah? What about this part right here? Yeah. $90 million raised. $90 million. It's a lot of money, man. But that is what they were, supposed to have taken in to all these nationwide donations and things, So we are left to wonder, what did the sisters get themselves off into? You understand? There were some situations that came about, questionable purchases and questionable spending that went down. Y'all know what's up. Started by 3 strong black women. I wish they would stop fucking saying that about our women. Talking like our women are supposed to be manly and shit. None of them will believe that shit, man. You understand? No, man, no. Our women are soft and wonderful and beautiful and feminine and friendly and sweet. As they was once upon a time. But Times are changing. It's cool to look crummy and be a dumb dummy and disrespect your mommy. On record. But yeah, these three sisters, man. One of them even married a woman who thought she was a man. Amazing how they hijack our movements and put them in the and this whole thing had a hidden payload called LGBT on record. But let's talk about it though. What happened? This is what we seeing right there, right? Y'all see what I'm seeing. Let me take that disclaimer. Let me take that out of there. How Black Lives Matter burned through most of $90 million in donations in 2 years. How Black Lives Matter burned through all this money, man. It twisted, man. I mean, they made some donations to some nonprofits. I don't think nobody from my area got to see any of that money. Understand? It's hundreds of nonprofits in Watts, man. But yeah, y'all see the numbers here, right? 33 million. They say that over 30 million went in grants to charitable foundations, which I'm sure they possibly can prove that because keep some kind of track of that. I hope they did. But let's look at some of these other expenses. Bowers, what does it say here? Black Lives Life board member Shalamaya, sounds like a Hebrew name. Shalamaya Bowers and her consulting firm walked away with over 2 million. Then Patrice Cullors, the main lady that they say is like the real founder, her brother collected a cool 1.6 million for his security firm. I can dig that. Security is important, and it is the second largest industry in America, and it's going to cost you if you're going to have security, and something like this would need security. Hope that can be proven. Documentation ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. Y'all know what Lonzo said. Then paid a Trap Hills LLC, a company to run by her father and the father of Colors. Oh, no, the father of Colors' child. So this is what her baby daddy took in. $969,000. Okay. Former board member, consulting connections with the contract. They took another little over $500,000. Understand? So yeah, whole lot of money, man. Whole lot of money. But did things really go like they should have? Let's take a look at some discussion some of our other people had this whole thing.
Remember the BLM movement? It was a scam. Candace Owens has done an entire documentary on this. It's called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. For the documentary, she showed up to the gated mansion in Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles, owned by BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors. Cullors then posted a video on Instagram complaining about
a whole mansion, Laurel Canyons. And the top coon dog, or the top graham cracker at the time, CO, the Candy O, she went by there to put her 2 cents in and what she thought about everything. But hey, can't be mad at this because this is real shit right here, man. All that money, man. Let's see what's up.
Candace Owens is reporting. Watch this.
So we are headed to Laurel Canyon. We've yet to see any Black people in this neighborhood. I was just looking to speak to whoever is at this property.
I woke up to Candace Owens being outside of my house with a news crew.
I can't see how this purchase helped Black lives anywhere in America. I can't even find a Black life on the property.
And so they're literally trying to destroy.
There go the sprinklers. There go the sprinklers.
Yes. They're trying to destroy me. They're trying to destroy the movement. And I just need us to be stronger.
When you live in a multi-million-dollar home in Laurel Canyon, it can be hard.
Black Lives Matter under scrutiny as 26 BLM chapters sue the organization and its leaders accusing them of defrauding local activist groups and stealing more than $10 million in donations.
Dizam, this was 3 years ago, folks. This particular little news clip is from 3 years ago.
In April, we also learned BLM leaders bought a secret $6 million mansion in Southern California for, quote, safety. So, after raising $90 million after George Floyd's death, is BLM more caught up with the cause or the cash? Here to react, Color Us United's Christian. Watch.
BLM?
Didn't have to hear nothing that dude had to say, but y'all heard what was said. That was 3 years. That was 2 years ago. You already had chapters and organizations saying, "Hey, they stole money from us." Let's continue.
You want to be so Black Power?
BLM is a scam.
Clip that. Send it to the fucking news.
BLM was literally a scam. They had bought mansions, and you probably wouldn't know anything about it because you don't care about black people.
The Justice Department now investigating whether leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement defrauded people who donated tens of millions of dollars during the 2020 protests.
Did you all hear the breaking news on Black Lives Matter? Because it's pretty wild. Do y'all remember when that organization raised around $90 million back in 2020 after the
$90 million, folks. That's a lot of money. That's a tremendous amount of money. $90 million. What's up with that? You understand? Nah, man. I know organizations out there that have done tremendous work for the communities with on a ghost budget. If they could get a fraction of that money, they would do tremendous work in the communities. But $90 million to BLM. Let's keep going.
George Floyd protest? Well, now federal prosecutors are investigating where that money went. And this isn't some social media rumor. This is the Department of Justice, and they've issued subpoenas, they've executed at least one search warrant, and they're reviewing how the donations were handled. Did the money go towards actually helping the communities people were donating for? Because a lot of donors believe they were supporting local programs, families, and even neighborhood rebuilding. But over the
Exactly. With that kind of money, the investment that could have been done into the communities. They didn't build not one hospital, not one clinic, not one supermarket, didn't open up not one community garden, didn't open up not one school or skilled trade institution, didn't do not even low-income apartment complexes or buildings for the people to get some extra subsidized housing from some organizations that would possibly put in programming or direct them to the programming. You have your low-income housing, you build your clinics, you build your schools, you build your supermarkets, you train the people into low-income housing to run those institutions. It could have been such a, see, this is the kind of thing that probably would have happened if the Black Panthers would have got that kind of support. But they know look what the Black Panthers did with the little bit of support they had. Imagine if they would have had a budget that big. But they knew this was no Black Panther movement. No. This is Black Lives Matter. This is hidden on the inside, feminist movement, hidden on the inside, Labitiquap movement. Just like the civil rights movement. That's why the civil rights laws were written up to go to all minorities and not to the black people that fought to bring it into. Let's keep listening.
last few years, most of the headlines we've seen about Black Lives Matter leadership involve luxury homes, consulting fees, and internal disputes, not community investments.
You remember 2020, right? The streets were packed, voices were loud, everyone was screaming no justice, no peace, the George Floyd situation, and right in the middle of that storm, Black Lives Matter became the biggest movement on the planet. Money poured in, not just hundreds or thousands of dollars, over $90 million. Now fast forward, the Department of Justice is investigating where that cash went because apparently some of it took a little detour straight into luxury real estate. Yes, Justice got a mansion in Beverly Hills. They called it a creative space for black artists. Unless that black artist is a rapper, I don't see why would you need a mansion in Beverly Hills. I mean, I didn't get a call, but let's talk about that and more. Let's get into it. At first, Black Lives
See, behind those kind of mansions and stuff like that could have been a good thing for the community. That they converted parts of it into community studio, dance studios, like a place where youth could come outside of their communities and harness their talent. You know, they could have made it into like a small school of performing arts, or something accessible to school of performing arts, or for kids in inner city schools who have performing arts programs, somewhere for them to come and get some to amplify their ability, to really harness their ability, and not only that, actually put their abilities to actual use and bring about some type of fruit from their abilities. The dancers, the singers, the rappers, the actors, you understand, the personalities that they got all over, especially in California, that youth that just need somewhere to cultivate their skill. And that wasn't even done in this situation.
Lives Matter was about outrage, marching, change, accountability. But once the donations started to roll in, the vibe shifted from movement to management.
And so we can't take sole responsibility for 3,000 protests around the globe, because that's people listening and responding.
Shut up, Meg.
And
Shut up, Meg.
saying, okay, we hear the words Black Lives Matter, we're going to prove it, we're going to take it to the streets.
There are children who are coming of age in a generation where they see themselves as being affirmed and valued. We deserve to live in a multiracial democracy.
Shut up, Meg. Shut up, Meg.
That works for all of us. And so,
Shut up, bitch!
Lying asses, man. Y'all had enough resources to the stuff that y'all claiming that y'all were about doing. Y'all could have put in process the very programs and techniques and ideals to bring about what you're saying, that what the actual dream that you guys was claiming that y'all was dreaming. Man, this is some bullshit.
so this is not in vain.
They built a foundation, the BLM Global Network Foundation. Sounds official, right? Like something with a boardroom and a mission statement. But turns out it was more like a nonprofit with a really expensive Zillow habit. Millions came in, promises went out, and then poof, silence. No clear reports, no receipts, just the mansions there. They said this house was for content creation, but what content? Is it TikToks about oppression with marble countertops? What value does all these mansions have to do with Black lives? I don't know.
Now I will tell you exactly what the BLM founder spent all y'all donation money on. This has all been fact checked, by the way. Firstly, she gave her brother $900K for security services to his nonprofit. Then gave her baby daddy $1 million for produce live events and creative services. Then proceeds to give another founder $2 million, invested $32 million in stocks, spent a whopping $37 million on grants, real estate, and charter on private flights, according to Doc Tax File. But don't worry, she was kind enough to reimburse the organization $73,000 out of the $37 million that they spent. This
You dumb son of a bitch!
Yeah, man. That's how they spent that. That's the thing about nonprofits, man. Trust me, I've been working with them for many years now. Your budget and everything is public record. So how you spend your money, anybody can look it up and see how you spent it. This looks crazy. It's crazy, but it reminds me of something that I've seen many times in Black community. They'll often pick a certain person, certain Black person, your Jeff Forts, your Tookie Williams, your Black folks, that they'll put all this money on them and then tell them they'll start community centers, or y'all should start a nonprofit. Nobody offers them consultants or bookkeepers to help them properly manage the money. And then when they mess it all up and misappropriate and spend the money incorrectly because they don't have the actual management skills to handle a small budget, let alone $90 million. Then here comes the federal government. Here comes the DOJ. Hey, that's how it goes.
This explains how y'all got $6 million mansions for no reason. She claimed that they had way too much money to manage and it was all common mistake.
Now, the Department of Justice doesn't just wander into your business for fun. They're investigating whether donors were defrauded or misled. Translation: did people give money for justice and get a real estate portfolio instead. If they knew from the beginning that they were going to spend that money on mansions, would people have donated, spend their hard-earned money on that organization if that was the mission statement from the beginning? That's the question.
Black Lives Matter, for example. How many black people did that help? It hurt a lot of black people, but in the end, we should be able to measure it. You know, like how many black people have died by gunfire in the 4 years since George Floyd died? Well, the number's gone way, way up. And that was a Black Lives Matter operation, defund the police. So I think we can say, as a factual matter, a data-based matter, Black Lives Matter didn't help black people. And if it did, tell me how. Well, these are important moral victories. I'm over that. That's just another lie, you know, a long litany of lies.
When during George Floyd,
Don't like the dude, Tucker. But it's hard to argue. Even a broken clock is right every once in a while, right? He has a point here. All those resources I was just talking about, all those institutions and facilities that I was just talking about, the resources that could have went into that, these are the things that curb violence. Every area where one of these tragedies took place, whether it was Michael Brown or Sandra Bland or George Floyd or Trayvon Martin or Tamir Rice, it's not only supposed to be rec centers erected in their memories, it should have been other programs, other institutions created in their memories. Like I said, supermarkets, clinics, hospitals, learning institutions, community gardens, stuff that gives the people in the community, the infrastructure that gives the people in the community empowerment. This would have neutralized violent crime on record.
when I was telling everybody that these Marxist women were going to defraud y'all and take all y'all money, well, it turns out they stole about $90 million from celebrities, from y'all that were deceived and thought that they was just like the Democratic Party. They were the answer to the black people's pain and the answer to black people's suffering. You know what they did? Just like y'all, just like some of our black preachers, just like the Democratic Party, they took y'all vote, just like they took y'all, the Black Lives took y'all money. They defrauded, they bought houses in different area codes. They didn't even give, none of that money was raised, that none of it fixed the communities.
So subpoenas were sent.
Went out and married a Tyler Yehudi with a fake penis. And the shit that they did on Reckon.
Search warrant was served because when you talk about these numbers, there's a problem. Black Lives Matter reportedly raised about $90 million in 2020. By 2021, they said they spent about $37 million on grants, real estate, and staff. That's a lot of money being spent. Now, I know Black Lives Matter wasn't a financial literacy group because I don't know who taught them about budgeting.
Major corporations, major for-profit corporations don't spend that kind of money. Oh, no, man. No, they would have more to show for it than just some mansions, yo.
But spending community donations on a 6-bedroom house in California is not exactly a program expense. They brought
a 6-bedroom house that you did not open up and use to provide any kind of programming or resources to the community around it. Just stupid. This is the kind of stuff that could have been done. I understand, but look, buying those houses, you could have converted those houses into offices to service those communities, man. It's not a hard thing. The strategy and the program is not a hard thing to put together to service a community. I've been there, like I said, I've been there, done that. I played around this game over 30 years, man. It's not, they make it seem like it's so difficult to create services that can actually bring forth a positive change in the community, in the cities. And no, they don't want to. Because if you fix the problem, people don't need you no more. And that's how they're looking at it, which is stupid. The people will always need organizations to help the economically disadvantaged. That's not going anywhere. To help the homeless, that's not going anywhere. But the gang violence and the violence in the streets, we can do something about that with proper investment in an area, which is not happening. The nonprofits come in, but don't know infrastructure get built up by these nonprofits. Trust me, Watts got hundreds of nonprofits. Look at the condition of Watts. It ain't changed in over 50 years.
Multiple properties across states. One of them was worth $6 million. So when people started to ask questions, they said, well, these are just safe space for Black creators. Again, I didn't get an invite. And let's be real. who is that really helping? A handful of insiders, some consultants, maybe the occasional influencer that got invited for a photo op? Because no everyday donor ever got the address. No protester ever got an invite. I'm sure no grieving mother ever spent a night there. If the mansion's purpose was to support the community, did we see the workshops? Did we see any youth programs, any job fairs? I mean, all I saw was parties, private events, and a lot of PR spin. I mean, if you want to say that there's systemic racism out there, how can you fix it from a gated community with valet parking? The optics alone are just extremely brutal. The activists out there in the streets, while the leaders are enjoying their luxury. Even if you want to call this a creative hub, it's hard to ignore that it mainly created comfort for the few people who signed the checks. Every dollar that went into that property could have went to, I don't know, legal aid, real scholarships, bail funds, food drives, actual change.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But it is always more than meets the eye when it comes to this kind of stuff. Why now? Why come after them now? It's been 5 years. But that's one thing about federal government of the United Snakes of Amnesia. Ooh, they love to watch you think that you fatten yourself up or give you enough rope after you fatten yourself up so that when they hang you, your head will come completely off.
Lives Matter's finances under scrutiny once again as tax documents show the nonprofit on the brink of bankruptcy.
The nonprofit has spent most of that money, ending last year with a $9 million deficit. Federal filings from 2020 to 2022 show just a third, $30 million, went to other charitable organizations. $22 million went to expenses. This includes millions paid to board members and family members of co-founder Patrisse Cullors.
I'm not mad at hiring your peoples, your family members, or anything like that. If you got opportunity, you got a budget, and you could bring in your friends. Man, if I had that kind of a budget, I know enough brothers, enough organizations, enough sisters, enough organizations where I promise you things in Watts would have changed. People would have hated us for how much good would have happened in our community. But, you know, I agree with that. But the thing about it is accountability, man. Don't bring in people just because they're your family. No, you bring in people because they're your family and they know what the fuck they doing. And you bring in your homies and people who not only because they're your homies and things, no, they know what the fuck they doing and their heart is in the right place. They're not doing this because they looking to get something out of it. They're doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're doing their part to help God's people, which is in his will. This is why they're doing it. It ain't hard to, there's plenty of people out there like that. Nobody tries to find them because people, most time when it comes to this kind of work, folks want to know what you want, give it to you so you'll just become like a pet. It's like a Machiavellian thing out there. Trust and believe. I done been there, done that. And there was nothing that they could offer me while I'm still in the community organizing. There's nothing that they can offer me to make me turn my back on the overall goal of what we're doing. You understand? Which is trying to change the condition of economically disadvantaged people who are victims and a byproduct of this corrupt, vicious, hypocritical system who have castrated most of the men in the communities that we come from and taken the head off of the body.
For example, $1.6 million went to the father of Cullors' child for security services. Another $2.1 million went to BLM board member Shaloma Bowers for consulting.
I feel vindicated because 2 years ago I said that this organization was a disingenuous scam, and it has proven itself to be a disingenuous scam.
Patrisse Cullors left BLM leadership in 2021 after documents revealed she spent millions on luxury homes in LA and Georgia.
So tell me again how this mansion helped anyone but themselves. Because unless that infinity pool doubles as a community resource center, it's not liberation. It's just a luxurious lifestyle, funded by people who donated to them. Because nothing screams grassroots activism than a mansion in the Beverly Hills. It didn't stop.
Don't look no different than all these other folks that come in, build up organizations, get big, make some money, raise some money, spend money on certain things, then walk away from the whole movement and just keep the things that they bought for themselves. Reverend Breaker, look, man, Twilight said it the best when I read his words at Jim Brown's memorial, hosted by my brother Akila Sherrills, my brother Big Daou and Big U, and my boy Calico and all the OGs, man, that used to work on this, that was doing this work all the way going back to the 90s, man. We was all there, man. The thing that Twilight said, we're not supposed to just become some more poverty pimps. That's exactly what these are. These are poverty pimps, or this is poverty pimping.
Stop with just the money. BLM's own local chapter started calling out the national office. They said funds were disappearing before they even hit the ground. Think about that. The people who are actually organizing on the streets, risking arrest, going back and forth with the cops, getting hit with pepper spray, all that crazy stuff. They're saying, yo, where's the money you told the whole world was for us? And the leadership's response was basically, we'll get back to you. But they never did. That's when people started to use that word, grift.
This organization has been capitalizing off of unfortunate deaths and tragedies and guilt-tripping people to send them lots of money and donations.
They have really no idea what they're doing, and it shows. So that's why it looks like they're slowly going under.
Because while you're living in a multi-million-dollar mansion, while your city chapters can't afford basic necessities for protests, that's not activism, that's an influencer scam with extra steps. And this stuff gets even messier. BLM sued its own fiscal sponsor, the Tides Foundation, a group that held over $33 million for them. BLM claimed that Tides was holding their money hostage.
Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation is suing Tides Foundation, which is a nonprofit that manages cash for nonprofits who don't have status with the IRS, so smaller nonprofits. BLM GNF is saying that they entrusted $33 million to Tides Foundation back in 2020 when they did not have status with the IRS, essentially for safekeeping and for management of that cash. In 2021, when they asked for that cash back, Tides refused and said they were giving money to other BLM chapters. So the key question is, who has the right to the donations that came into Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation?
So let me get this straight.
Who indeed, ladies and gentlemen? This is crazy, man. Very crazy, but very true. Way out, man, is what it is. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Man, I do know what to say. I reckon, dog. The truth is, I believe this was like my man said, it was a grift. They took advantage of a situation. And righteous people that are in this work never get that kind of money to work with. Just keeping it 400, man. Been in this business a long time. I already know what's up. Hey, man, take a look at the video, man. Share it. Smash up the likes. Subscribe. Join. Send a donation, man, to our tax-deductible nonprofit organization that makes this possible, the Social Solutions Institute. We do this in memorial of my beloved brother, the one and only. I like that. And to all of y'all folks out there, man, thanks for tuning in with your boy Bam Bam Bellion. The drum major for justice, gonna continue to stand tenfolds down on them tenfold grounds. Representing Eastside Oz, man, I love y'all to death. I love y'all to life. Because we live in the die, we die to live again. 360 degrees, comprehend. $3.06. Shouts out to Grand Verbalizer, Funky Lesson Brother Jay, and Erica Badu for Sleeping Man Knows. Jules and they music, man. You listen to some of that old school 90s music, man. That early 90s hip hop. Go back to Poor Righteous Teacher, bro. Grand Verbalizer, X-Clan, Dead Prayers. Get y'all some education in y'all music, because y'all ain't getting none. Like I said, man, we do this in memorial of my beloved brother, man. Peace be upon him. We will be celebrating Most High, allowing us to have him on the 13th of November and getting it ready and getting it popping with the Twilight Hour. We're bringing in our folks, man. Shouts out to Big Daoud, man. Shouts out to my brother Khaled Shaw. Shouts out to 6'4". Shouts out to Sister Soldier. Shouts out to all the folks that's going to be coming on to tell their story, man. Tell their Twilight Hour, man. We putting that together, man. Until then, man, I love y'all to death. Love y'all to life, man. And whether I be here or in the kingdom, I'm going to see you again, man. Till then, y'all keep breathing. East side ours. Because the east side is ours. Hey man, I love y'all, man. Shouts out to all four corners. Shouts out to the diaspora. Oh, hello, Yahweh, Bahashim Mashiach Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Baraknawa Yahweh, Om Yasharala. Sir, people gonna get that later, man. What's up, baby?